This week, Alex is joined by interim head coach of the Golden Flashes, Mark Carney, to talk about that transition from 2 years of 1-23, the end of the Kenny Burns era, and what it's like being an interim head coach for the duration of a football season. Stay tuned. All right, everybody, welcome back to the MAC Sports Connection. We are here at Ford Field, 2025 MAC Media Day, and I am here with head coach Mark Carney for the Kent State Golden Flashes. Coach, I got to ask, everybody talks about you being the Canadian Prime Minister. I'm not going to do that one. Are you related to Pat Carney of the Black Keys?
I am not.
Not? Okay, okay.
I am related to a Pat Carney.
Okay.
But not
that one.
Correct.
See, I was really hoping it was that one.
Yeah.
I was really
He's
excited
an Ohio
to talk
guy,
to you.
though, right?
He is an Ohio guy.
Yeah.
Born in Akron, I believe.
Akron, that's
so,
right, yeah.
was hoping maybe there's a little bit of relation there, but
no
big
such
Black
luck.
Keys fan. But let's go down the rabbit hole. I saw, kind of looking you up a little bit, your former Baldwin Wallace coach.
I am.
So I realized coming today that if I decided I didn't want to talk to my OAC rivals, I wasn't going to talk to anybody, so I figured I work at Heidelberg
Okay.
over there in Tiffin,
Yeah.
and so saw that, and I was like, that's something to talk about.
I had my butt kicked at Heidelberg one time, yeah.
Baldwin Wallace, great school, though. I mean, there's a lot of great
Absolutely.
stuff there.
My mother worked there for 20-something years,
Oh, wow.
different jobs, but finished her career in COVID, that 2020 year as I believe she was like the associate business manager for the
wow.
athletic department. Yeah.
Wow.
She was the brains behind the operation.
Well, you need somebody to do it, right?
Absolutely.
So, let's just dive into it. Obviously, taking over as interim coach with, let's be very candid, a program that's struggled the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk to me about the challenges of kind of stepping into that interim role at what is really an inconvenient time? You were named the interim in March. Can you kind of talk us through that, and how difficult has it been to kind of establish a playbook, do recruiting, like a lot of uncertainty around that?
Sure. Yeah, no, the timing, while it might not be ideal to an outsider, for us in the building, it was pretty much ideal. From the time Coach Burns was placed on administrative leave in late March to, the time we started spring ball was a period of about 24 to 48 hours. There wasn't a whole lot of time to think about what's next. It's, hey, we've got this work ahead of us, and let's put our head down and go to work.
Okay.
So from a messaging perspective, and for the players and our staff, it was like, hey, we've got this work to do. Let's just go at it, right? Let's not think about it or second guess it. Here we go.
Kind of go down that rabbit hole a little bit more. Talk about the struggles of being the interim. How do you keep the players focused and doing the performance with a sense of, I guess on your end, a little bit of uncertainty of
Sure.
what's next at the end of the year?
Yeah, I think the reality of college football and this business, right, is that no matter what your contract says, everyone's on a one-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've lived in places where, we had 2 or 3 years left on a deal and powers that be wanted us gone, and we were no longer there. So the reality of the situation is everyone in college football is on a one-year contract. So I think being honest about where we are, right, and what's ahead of us is helpful in bringing people together, leaving nothing to a guessing game, right? I want to be out in front of conversations and having open and honest conversations, authentic conversations with everyone involved in the program, right? Players, coaches, staff members, everybody.
Obviously, past aside, let's focus on 2025.
Yeah.
What's the plan to get the fans excited about this year? I think there's plenty to be excited about. You've got a lot of exciting players on this roster. What's the plan to get those fans really engaged in the team?
Absolutely. We're gonna start a couple social media series, right, to open up and tell our story, right? Because I believe, the best thing about Kent State is the people, right? And the equipment manager Cliff, who's a Hall of Fame member in the athletic department, right? And our sophomore receiver, right? We've got great stories at Kent State, and it's our job this offseason and this next month to really get those stories out into the community, into the population, and open up and be honest about who we are, right? And what we've been through and where we're going. So that's going to start, but ultimately it's going to be to win, right? And we've got an opportunity to start our season against FCS opponent Merrimack at home, and our job is to win that game.
A lot of they say winning cures a lot of things, right?
Absolutely.
And I think a win over Merrimack kind of sets the tone for the year. I feel like in the past, Kent State has done the gauntlet of Power 4 opponents. Now you get the rare, hey, we're going to start the year at home versus go on the road. And I think that's huge for you guys.
Huge, absolutely. Our guys are looking forward to being at home for that first game, and really to put an attempt to erase the bad taste that's in our mouth from the last 2 seasons.
Talking about this team and talking about some of the players, who should the fans be most excited about? Kind of on offense, on defense. Obviously, it's a whole unit, but who are these players that fans want? They want to get to know the players. They want to know who can we cheer for this year. Who's standing out so far?
Yeah, I think one, it's going to start with our quarterback. We recruited a guy, C.J. Montez from Fordham University. My alma mater that I've been keeping tabs on, and he's had a pretty successful career. So bringing him in to add competition to the quarterback room right away, and was critical for us. And another running back to that room, Jordan Newman, a Minnesota transfer who rushed several times for 200 yards against Big Ten opponents. And rebuilding our offensive line. I know that doesn't sound sexy, but getting used to rooting for number 71 and number 64, right? Those guys are going to make our offense go this season. On the defensive side of the ball, it's similar, right? We rebuilt the trenches. Guys like Amon Williams and Jelani Davis coming in, bigger veteran guys who are college grads that, maybe we're not relying on freshmen and sophomores to play as many snaps as we have the last couple of years.
No, I love that. And you mentioned the offensive line building that. I had a buddy of mine. He was an offensive lineman. Played for Akron. I didn't tell you that. But
school down the road. We say the school down the road.
He always referred to them as the big uglies.
That's
right. And that's how he treated it. And so I think, but those guys are such a critical component to any team and the success of any team.
Absolutely, especially in this conference, right? We're going to play our home games in Northeast Ohio, right? We're going to play teams from Buffalo and directional Michigan schools and Toledo and Bowling Green, and you better be able to run the ball. You better have an established group up front on both sides of the line of scrimmage.
Now, that school down the road, we're going to talk about that. Kent State's lost the last 2.
Yes, we have.
And something all of that locker room is very much aware of. How excited are you guys to get that game back at home this year? Or sorry, that's back at Akron this year, isn't it?
Yes.
To go win on the road and try to win on the road and get that wagon wheel back.
Yeah, it's proximity rivals like that are great. Been in the conference before at Bowling Green, and the proximity rival with Toledo those are real games.
Yeah.
People say it's a hatred thing. I don't think it's as much of a hatred thing. I think those players probably know each other better than anybody else, right? Because they're at the same parties, they're in the the same dorm rooms and whatnot. And no different from me growing up in the Cleveland area, being a St. Ed's guy, right? You put so much pressure on that one Ignatius game that sure, it's important, and that's a make or break game for some people. But it's ultimately it's another game, right? And it's a game against a community that doesn't have a whole lot of love for your community. So for that week, it's a whole lot of fun. But tons of respect for what Coach Moorhead has done there. Another Fordham guy, so I've known him and his family for a long time, and he's done a phenomenal job there. But we want to beat him. The wagon wheel is a very, very real rivalry, and that's one that it has always circled on our schedule.
It's so funny how you talk about both of you being Fordham guys. It's so wild to me how small the college, not just football, but athletics circle really is.
Absolutely. No, being over there with the ESPN guys and doing interviews with Michael Rega, I can remember watching Cavs and Indians games, and he's the voice, right?
Yeah.
So, legendary for sure.
It's funny, Dustin Fox. I grew up watching him play for Ohio State.
That's right.
And not to show how old or young I am, but it's really funny. I saw him at Media Day a couple years ago, and I'm like, I used to watch you, and now we're here doing it's weird, the levels of the how the circles just all kind of start to mesh together. And then even with you, with Baldwin Wallace and my connections with Heidelberg, it's fun. It makes it a lot more interesting.
Absolutely. No.
So I guess before I wrap this up, obviously you don't have to give a record prediction, but what's the expected outcome for Kent State this year?
Yeah, improved. I'm not going to put a win total out there. I think as long as we feel like we're getting better on a day-to-day basis, right? We wake up today and get the opportunity to beat yesterday. As long as we're taking steps in the positive direction and improving, maintaining competitiveness throughout our schedule, whether we're on the road at Oklahoma or Florida State or Texas Tech, or we're at home against Buffalo or Merrimack, right? We want to compete. That's our job. That's life, right? Is competition. There's 136 people that get to do what I do on a daily basis, and I know there's a lot more who play that ESPN college football or EA college football game that know they can be better than me, right? But it's a great opportunity for us this fall, and we're looking forward to it.
I love it. Coach Mark Carney of the Kent State Golden Flashes, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and good luck this season.
Absolutely.
Thank
Go
you.
Flashes.
Mr. Gecko, you're a huge inspiration to us all, but who was your muse?
My dear old Nan. She would tell me, always remember to be true to yourself and to use that fast and friendly claim support on the Geico app. I follow her advice to this day.
Get more than just savings. Get more with Geico.